Do we need, I suppose, do we need our speaker on, you think? Sorry. All right, it is 6:02 PM on June 25th, 2024, and we are going into the Board of Review meeting. So I will call this to order. And the first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. We always do that. Board review?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we do a roll call too? President Gerke,
Here?
trustee Beglin,
Here.
and I, Clerk Johnson, am here.
Our assessor is also here. Excellent. Eric Fuel from Catalyst is here. All right, next we have confirmation of appropriate Board of Review and open meeting notices.
Okay, so we first posted June 25th at our open book and our meeting to adjourn notice on April 10th, and we posted this agenda again on May 9th, and it is still up. We are in compliance with the open meeting law.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Next, we will select a chairperson for the Board of Review.
I nominate Dan Gerke for chairperson of the Board of Review.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Do I hear any objection? Take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And now we are going to be selecting a Board of Review vice chairperson.
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to select Rika Beglin as the vice chairperson.
Second, oh, sorry.
It's all right. I have a motion and a second. Call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we're verifying that at least one Board of Review member has met the mandatory training requirements. I believe that all three of us met the mandatory training requirements by attending the training on May 1st of 2024. All right, and I will now verify that the village has an ordinance for the confidentiality of income and expense information provided to the assessor under state law. Which we do, would be Wisconsin. Oh, go ahead.
Section 105-29 confidentiality in the Village of Fredonia Code of Ordinance.
Which satisfies that requirement. Are there any new laws?
Fully go away in terms that it's completely gone value still there, it's just shifted up. Meaning that instead of being valued as a personal property, it now shifts to the state. The value of it just shifted.
So do we see those values in this role, or will we see them in next year's role?
That did it as a January 1st.
Okay.
All right. Are there any other new laws that we are aware of? No. All right. Thank you. Next, we have the adoption of amendments to policy regarding the procedure for sworn telephone testimony and sworn written testimony. And that was adopted on May 21st, 2015 at the village board meeting. So I don't believe there's any action there. Am I correct?
Correct, yep.
All right. And then we have the adoption of policy regarding the procedure for waiver of BOR hearing requests, which was also adopted on May 21st, 2015 at the village board meeting. So no action there. Filing and summary of annual assessment report by the assessor's office.
The role was emailed to the clerk, which spoke her, she emailed the clerk. The affidavit was signed and given to the clerk as well, keeping the role, as well as the one label change that we had. That was done in a week or two. That one was added to it. And I think that's going to do it for my information. I normally go over what the assessment ratio was. Normally go over the assessment ratio, being that it was a revaluation year, should be back up to 100%.
Great.
So then I also have sale, if you guys want to look at those from this past year.
Perfect. Thank you. So. Okay, so we have receipt of the assessment roll by the clerk from the assessor. We just talked about that.
So, oh, no, sorry, keep going.
All right. We have any sworn statements when you receive the assessment roll?
That's what this is, right, Eric? Yep.
All
So I
right,
have the assessor's affidavit.
all right, and review the assessment roll and perform statutory duties.
I found a typo. So I went through this property by property. I made sure that the splits we made last year were reflected here. I made sure that combinations were reflected here. And I didn't find any omitted properties. I didn't find any anomalies that raised a red flag for me, except for the things that you and I had talked about, Eric, over email. But there were a couple typos. Just one. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Dollar General. The tax key number, is that useful?
Yeah, what is the exact?
09-050-04-02005.
See, I can see what's going on. Very interesting, all these sales, but I don't remember happening. I feel like a lot of them were,
Uh-huh.
111.
Yes. It's DGI Fredonia. Yeah. And Eric, that's literally the only typo that I found. Yep, great job.
all right, anything else?
Exactly the opposite.
Okay. Okay, and so how does that come back to us? Is that like a correction like you've handed me tonight and I keep it with the roll, or do you send me a corrected version of the roll?
Assuming you have, we just cross it off.
And fix it? Okay.
And then we fix up. Let's click an actual value.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
So we examined the roll, we corrected a description error. I didn't find any omitted properties. I didn't find any doubly assessed properties.
all right, excellent. Now we have discussion and interaction, certify all corrections of error under state law.
The only correction we had was a typo.
Yep. So we have to vote on that, or are we?
Do we have to vote on that?
All right, next we have discussion, unless there's any more discussion on that one typo for Dollar General. We will have verify with the assessor that the open book changes are included in the assessment roll. Perfect. All right, and we are now allowing the taxpayers to examine the assessment data. Here it is. All right, I don't know, then we're into the first 2 hours for, right?
Yeah, so, we don't have any, we did not receive, any sustained notices to object. We didn't have any written or oral, intent that was given to us, so we don't expect to see or hear from anyone. If we do, then we can talk about, what constitutes good cause, whether or not we want to hear their case tonight or adjourn to a different evening. But right now, we can wait patiently to see if anyone comes in.
I think that sounds great. All right, so we will be waiting for the next 2 hours to see if we have anybody that comes in.
Can we pause the recording in the meantime?
Yep, in the meantime, we'll pause the recording here at 6:11 PM. And we will start or resume recording if anybody comes in to object. And if not, then we will resume the recording after that 2 hour window. All right, it is now 8 o'clock. We had plenty of time to see if anybody would come in. and object to anything, and we did not have anybody that showed up. So now we are, in order to consider or act on scheduling any additional Board of Review dates. I don't see a need to do it.
It's
If you can-
unnecessary. We had no objections.
Yeah, I agree. And if that's the case, then I think the 2024 Board of Review, I think we're in order to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We are adjourned. Right on.